this for a second. You are alone in the middle of a river on a rainy night. No lights, no people, just darkness and the sound of water. Suddenly, something starts drifting toward you on the surface of the river. A dead body wrapped in a white burial shroud. You panic and try to push it away, but it will not move. It sticks to your boat like a magnet. Your chest tightens. Your heart feels like it is about to stop. And then you see it. Not one body, not two. Hundreds of shroud-wrapped corpses floating straight toward you, closing in from every direction. You turn your head toward the riverbank and your blood turns cold. Standing there is a towering, shadowy entity nearly 60 feet tall. Its eyes burn like fire. With one massive hand, it slowly gestures for you to come closer. This is not a fictional legend. This is a real experience from the banks of the Madhumati River in Faridpur, Bangladesh, a place where fishing nets pulled up more than fish. They pulled up a terror that felt like death itself. What was hidden inside those white shrouds? Why did all the fish vanish from a locked box without explanation? And what secret lies inside the ashes kept in a clay pot that still protects an old fisherman named Yakub Ali to this day? To uncover the full truth, you have to watch this video till the very end. If you skip, you will miss one of the most terrifying first-hand accounts ever shared. Are you ready? Then let us step into tonight's cursed story on Spirit Horror World. This incident was collected by a man we call Robibai. At the time, he was staying in Madhumati for work on a project. Every now and then, he would visit the local fish market. But instead of buying stored fish, he preferred fresh river fish directly from the fishermen who worked along the Madhumati River. That is how he met a man named Yakub Ali, around 65 or 66 years old, a fisherman who had spent his entire life on the river. During one of their conversations, Robibai noticed something unusual. Next to where Yakub Ali was sitting, there was a small clay pot filled with ashes. Out of curiosity, he asked, "Brother, what do you use these ashes for? Do they help with fishing?" Yakub Ali replied calmly, "I sprinkle a little of this in the water where I fish. It increases the chances of getting fish. And at night, if I keep this with me and spread some around, the river spirits that come to disturb fishermen stay away." When Robibai heard the mention of river spirits, he immediately knew there was a story behind it. He asked Yakub Ali directly if he had experienced anything himself. Yakub Ali smiled and said, "Stories? I have a whole bag full of them. You would not even finish listening. I have been fishing since childhood. Rivers, canals, wetlands, mostly at night. I have seen many things." Then he mentioned one particular incident, the one that terrified him the most. It happened around 2001. He was not married at the time, and his older brother was with him that night. Yakub Ali's home is originally in Alfadanga, close to the Madhumati River. He stayed around the Madhukali area and traveled to different parts of the river for fishing. Every stretch of that river was familiar to him, or so he thought, until that night changed everything. In 2001, Yakub Ali went out fishing at night in the Alfadanga stretch of the Madhumati River. His older brother was with him. That night, it was raining heavily. Local fishermen believe fish bite better during rain, so they took a small wooden dinghy and headed out despite the weather. They kept fishing for a while. Everything felt normal, calm, routine, familiar. Then suddenly, Yakub's older brother noticed something in the moonlight. He pointed toward the water and said, "Yakub, look at that. What is that? Take a look." Yakub turned his head and saw it. A body wrapped in a white burial shroud slowly floating toward them. The head end of the shroud was tied in a knot, but the foot end was open. Normally, when a body is placed in a grave, The knots of the shroud are untied. In some places, they remain tied, in others, they are loosened. At first glance, it clearly looked like a real corpse. There is something important to understand here. During heavy rains, graves sometimes collapse. When graveyards flood, bodies can rise up and drift away with the current. Because the shroud looked clean and bright, they assumed it had come from a relatively recent burial somewhere upstream. It was monsoon season, low-lying areas were flooded everywhere, so this explanation made sense. Yakub said to his brother, "Leave it, let it float away. We should not get involved in this. Let us just focus on fishing." So they continued fishing. That's when we noticed something strange. The shroud-wrapped body was no longer drifting away with the current. Instead, it slowly moved toward their boat, and then it touched the wooden side of the dinghy and stuck there. It felt unnatural, as if the boat and the shrouded body were magnets pulling toward each other. They were confused. The thing had been floating in a different direction. Why did it suddenly change course and attach itself to their boat? Still, at that moment, they did not think of anything supernatural. Yakub's older brother said, "Yakub, check who it is, see if it's someone we know. A few people in our relatives and nearby areas have died recently. If it is someone familiar, we need to handle this properly and inform people." Yakub did not touch it with his hands. Using his oar, he gently pushed the cloth away from the head area. What he saw made him freeze. There was nothing inside. He thought maybe the body was toward the feet. He moved the cloth near the legs. Nothing. Then he checked the chest area. Still nothing. The shroud was completely empty. And yet, moments earlier, it had clearly looked like a human body inside it. The shape was perfect. The outline of a head, the chest, the waist, even the feet looked slightly raised, as if toes were pointing upward under the cloth, just like a real wrapped corpse. But now, there was nothing inside, just an empty burial shroud clinging to their boat in the middle of a dark, rain-soaked river. Yakub's older brother got annoyed and said, "Forget it, it probably just drifted in on its own. At night, who knows what our eyes are playing tricks on? Push it away with the oar and move it to the other side. Get it off the boat. It is probably just some random cloth floating by." Yakub tried to push it away using his oar. He managed to move it a little farther from the boat, but after a short while, they watched in disbelief as the same thing floated right back and pressed itself against the boat again. That was when they started sensing that something was not right. Moments later, something far more terrifying happened. They began to see more of them. Shroud-wrapped shapes, each one looking like it had a body inside, started floating in from different directions. There were too many to count. Slowly, one by one, they drifted toward the boat. Within minutes, those shapes surrounded them completely. Left, right, front, back, everywhere. That was when real fear hit them. This is bad, they thought. River spirits sometimes come, take fish, and leave. But this is something else. They started paddling toward their home dock as fast as they could. But the shapes kept coming. More and more appeared out of nowhere. What felt like 50 became 70, then 90, then over 100. Soon it looked like the entire river was filled with these shrouded figures. And then they saw it. On the riverbank stood a massive figure, incredibly tall, around 50 to 60 feet in height. It was clearly not human, but it had a head, arms, and legs. Its eyes were glowing, burning brightly. In the moonlight, they could make out its massive body from a distance. The thing raised its hand and gestured toward them. "Come here. Come this way." It did not speak, but the gesture was clear. The palm of its hand looked enormous, from wrist to fingertips, as it repeatedly signaled for them to come closer. Their fear multiplied. Both brothers began reciting prayers continuously. They tried to move the boat forward, but it felt like they were stuck. The shrouded shapes pressed in from every direction, and the boat barely moved. That is when Yakub's older brother made a decision. He stood up in the boat and began to call the adhan, the Islamic call to prayer. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. As he called out, the shrouded figures slowly pulled back. Yakub paddled forward. When the adhan ended, the shapes stayed away for 5 to 10 minutes. Then they started drifting back again, clinging to the boat like iron filings snapping onto a magnet. Each time that happened, his brother would call the adhan again. Each time, the figures would retreat. Slowly, bit by bit, they moved forward. They also noticed something else. That massive figure on the riverbank was not moving its legs at all. Yet somehow, as their boat advanced, the figure advanced with them, gliding silently, still signaling with its hand, still calling them closer without making a sound. By the time they reached their home dock, Yakub's older brother had called the adhan 8 to 10 times. When they finally reached the dock, they jumped out quickly. There was a wooden box in the boat where they kept the fish they had caught. They realized it was not safe to carry the fish with them. Yakub locked the box and left it in the boat. The massive figure did not block their path. It stayed at a distance. It seemed angry, but it did not speak or stop them. They ran home. Once inside, they woke their father and told him everything. He listened carefully and said, "You are not going back out there now. Stay as you are. We will go and see in the morning." One important detail stood out. As they left the boat that night, they looked back and saw the shrouded shapes drifting away, separating and floating off in different directions, slowly fading until they disappeared completely. The next morning, their father went to the boat. Everything looked normal. The boat was fine, the fish box was still locked. He opened it with the key. There were no fish inside. Later, Yakub and his brother arrived. Their father looked at them and said, "Did you put fish in this box?" They said, "Yes, there were several fish in there." "Well," he said, "look, not a single one is left." They all understood what had happened. Their father then said, "What followed you last night was not an ordinary river spirit. This was something far more dangerous. Normal river entities come only for fish. This was different. You were in serious danger." He then took them to a religious scholar known for his spiritual practices. The scholar told them to bring ashes from their cooking stove. When they brought the ashes, the scholar prayed over them and said, "Whenever you go fishing, sprinkle a little of this ash into the water and say, Bismillah. If you ever feel danger nearby, scatter some around you. God willing, nothing will harm you." Yakub continued to collect blessed ashes from the scholar. Later, when supplies ran low, he mixed them with regular ashes, as instructed. To this day, he still keeps that ash with him and continues fishing. He told Robibai that he has witnessed many more terrifying incidents on the river, not the usual stories of river spirits, but far worse. At dawn, everything returned to normal, but Yakub Ali's life never truly did. The fish never returned, the river never felt the same again. All that remained was the ash, the prayers, and faith. Even today, boats still float on the Madhumati River. People still fish, but no one knows which night the empty shrouds might rise again before someone else. This story proves one thing. A river does not carry only water. It carries mysteries beyond human understanding. Not everything can be seen, and not every fear can be defeated with strength alone. Some fears require faith. What do you think? If they had not called the adhan that night, would they have made it back alive? If this story made you think, give this video a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and for real-life horror stories, subscribe to the channel. I was with you tonight. We will meet again in another unknown story on another cursed night, here on Spirit Horror World.